growing trend in Iowa and across the United States. I think we should promote it, and I would love to see a girls wrestling team here at Pella.
I would be very interested in a girls wrestling team. I think it's such an interesting sport and it just looks like a lot of fun, and I think it would be a really fun sport to participate in.
I think it'd be a pretty cool thing to have at Pella High School, especially as girls wrestling in the state of Iowa is continuing to grow.
I've never really seriously considered wrestling, but I think a girls wrestling team could bring a lot of new opportunities that we haven't had in the past.
I think there are a lot of girls who just need a push to get out of their comfort zone, and I think a girls team for wrestling could have a lot of athletes come out, more than we would think, and I think that it would have an impact on a lot of girls.
I feel like it would be a great thing for girls to come together and to be able to be a team on a newer sport. I think that it could be a really fun experience for everyone.
I have some friends that wrestle from other schools, some family friends that are girls, and I know that it's a good program for their schools, and I think it would be good for us too.
All these different programs because of interest. If you can generate enough interest from our female athletes, I think you should have a girls wrestling team then.
I think if you get a couple girls wrestling, it definitely motivates others to want to do the same.
If you get enough athletes, you can have just a girls team that practices at the same time as your boys or with your boys, and their practices overlap. But could you have just a girls wrestling team? Sure you could. I know there are some schools that have that.
Push on my shoulder, okay? Start in this position. Set.
I think it would. I think there's a certain stigma around wrestling that it's a boys' sport, and so I think as a girl being able to do something like that, it kind of is proving them wrong that it's not just a boys' sport and that a girl can be just as competitive within it as a guy can.
I think it would feel empowering because wrestling is usually kind of a boys' sport, and it could be really cool to have something new just for the girls.
You got to find out if the girls and guys can wrestle with each other and be okay with that. Some kids can't overcome that. Most can.
The only issue I think is that it needs to be equitable both for girls and boys. Because boys have been wrestling, the wrestling programs are already established, but throwing a girl into the mix can be both awkward for both parties, and so those types of things need to be thought out before you decide to jump in full bore. Not to mention boys wrestling girls, it can be awkward for the boys. That's not equitable for them.
Really, the mindset isn't too much different. It's just another opponent. Matches I have had where I have had to wrestle a girl, I just go out there and wrestle a normal match.
It started in middle school, I had to wrestle one, and at first I was kind of skeptical, but then I had a coach once tell me that just go out and wrestle like it was a guy, and after that it wasn't, didn't matter to me. I just wrestled like it was a guy, and I support them wrestling.
I think being on a wrestling team would be so much fun. I'm a manager right now, and so I'm around the environment and the area, and I think I just watch all of the boys get so excited about it, and I think it would be such a fun sport to compete in.
Pretty empowering thing. It'd be a cool thing to see. Just from my perspective, just seeing anybody go out for the sport of wrestling is a cool thing to watch.